how's it going? Welcome to the Hardcore Dads Club. All right, this is a new Facebook page that I'm starting. All right, it's going to be dedicated to your modern day warrior dad. Okay, it's going to be, we're going to talk about different things such as martial arts, fitness, self defense, um, just taking care of your kids, how to balance all that, and how to manage all those things. It's going to be really cool. I'm going to have a bunch of special guests. I got a lot of people that I've crossed paths with in my life, with tons and tons of great information that want to get out there for all you guys. One link is most of us are also struggling being fathers, and so I just thought it'd be a great thing to get going. Just a little bit about myself. It's an introduction for who I am. My name is Jesse Briggs. I'm the owner of Briggs Academy of Mixed Martial Arts on the west side of El Paso, Texas. I am a certified CSW, which is Combat Submission Wrestling coach under Sensei Eric Paulson. All right, and I'm also a Savate Thai boxing coach under Eric Paulson as well. Also a Kali for Kids instructor, and so it's like weapons. And then I'm also ranked in judo, and I'm also a second degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So that's a little bit about myself, my background. Obviously, I have coached some MMA fighters, mostly just doing self-defense for your everyday people, right? I have a lot of fun over here. That's a little bit about myself, but it's going to be really cool, man. We're going to have a lot of really good information. Our first little video cast, we're going to be doing video casts, so you can either watch it or just hit play and listen to it as it's going. All right, it's going to be about greasing the groove, which is kind of a fitness concept that allows you to, if you don't have time to, set a specific workout time for yourself. It's going to be really cool. I hope you guys like it. If you have any questions, just make sure you like the page and post on there any questions, and I'm going to try to find somebody who can answer it. All right. The idea is to get people more qualified than I am to answer all of those hardcore dad questions you have. Also shooting. We're going to be talking about shooting and self-defense and all of those things, home defense. All right. Hope to see you guys soon. Peace out. I'll talk to you later. So, first meeting of the Hardcore Dads Club. All right. Got Jeremy Reed with me. All right. Tell me about yourself there, Jay, so people know who you are and why you're qualified to open your mouth and say anything about fitness, nutrition.
Why am I qualified to open my mouth?
Yeah.
Seems like everybody's qualified nowadays. Yeah, no, I'm Jeremy Reed. I guess my qualifications in that sense are have a master's degree in exercise physiology with concentrations in strength and conditioning and sports nutrition. When I was in grad school, did a ton of different research on a lot of different supplements and a lot of different training protocols.
Awesome.
And from there has pretty much been strength coaching and working with people, and now I'm in fun corporate wellness, just, gotta pay the bills.
That's it. And also you're a competitive shooter. You're ranked and you're doing that successfully.
Yeah.
I was a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under Robert Drysdale.
Yeah, look, I broke out my old school Drysdale t-shirt today.
Look at you.
I've worn this thing like 5 years.
Yeah, look at you. As far as competitive shooting, man, tell me about that.
Oh God, it's kind of been my primary hobby. A little bit of pistol shooting. Done travel around the country, a lot of big matches. Help build them, help run them. Actually helped start an organization, United Shooting Sports Leagues, to help hopefully grow the shooting sports across the country. So one of the big things we're working on now.
Cool. I lost half of that for unstable connection there, but we got that you started your own league. What were you saying before that? Just that you were competitive and.
Yeah, that I shoot competitively kind of all around the country, focusing mainly on 3-gun or multi-gun. Do a little bit of pistol matches just for fun, but I'd say mostly 3-gun and multi-gun is my big
Awesome. And you always get cool free shit. So I appreciate you keep competing, because when you have extra stuff, I end up getting cool stuff for my rifles and whatnot. But
Yeah.
so
Well, I'll say the cool free stuff is probably along the same lines as all your cool free T-shirts you got from all your martial arts seminars. They're free.
Yeah, it's free.
It totally didn't cost me anything at all.
Yeah,
Not
so
thousands of dollars in gear and ammo and travel and
no,
all
that
that
other
fun
shit.
stuff.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about it right
Yeah.
now. Like my
No.
picture is Kali. I like travel around the world and spend thousands of dollars on knives and everything else, and doing training with different instructors. It's like if I had to mathematically put it together, it'd be crazy. But so real quick, so this is the Hardcore Dads Club. All right. So really the focus is on modern fathers, right? Life is kind of changing for dads. A lot of us spend a lot more time with our kids than our fathers, our grandfathers, and so forth. In the same sense, work has changed. Our work schedules are a little different. And I feel like there's a lot more pressure for you to be a lot more things, like to be successful in your own business, to stay in shape, right? Be able to defend your family, all these different things that are so important. I figured we would start off talking about some different topics, and I figured fitness was an easy one. I wanted to talk about greasing the groove, which is actually, you could probably explain it better with some better terms than I could. I kind of got lost before we started.
Yeah, so greasing the groove is really referring to, I mean, grand scheme basics. It's implanting a motor pattern.
Okay.
Right? You're doing something over and over again, and you're building that motor pattern. So what some people would call muscle memory for certain things, like if you played baseball super competitive for years and years and years and years, and then you didn't, but you picked up and swung a bat, you would probably still have a fairly decent swing. And it's because that motor pattern had been ingrained.
Okay.
Now, like anything, if you continue to practice and do more and more and more reps, you're going to grease that groove and then allow that motion to become more ingrained and more efficient. So really tighten up the variance.
So using some type of lifting technique, or say a movement, and using that same idea behind it. For example, like if we're going to do a bench press or a certain kind of squat, instead of doing a 5x5 every day, you're basically, whenever you get a chance, you just knock out a few reps, stay well rested, and kind of are able to do that. Personally, the reason I picked that topic is it's something that I actually started this month with one-arm push-ups and single leg squats. And it's impressive just because the adaptation that happens so fast. At the beginning of the week, I couldn't even sit down on a chair with one leg or get into a single leg squat position, where now I'm starting to move better. Same thing with the one-arm push-up. It was really, really, really difficult. And I'm coming off of a minor pec strain. And so it was kind of difficult to have the stability. And I can see the almost immediate improvements without taking a toll on my body. So yeah. What have you ever used Grease the Groove for any athletes or even yourself?
Yes, I mean, there's a couple of ways I've used it. I've used it, one, for just more straight motor pattern learning. So I've actually used that a ton in shooting. A lot of the techniques we do, it's gun manipulations and or really trying to improve efficiency, because everything we do is time-based. So the more efficient you are, the more efficiently you can get a gun up on target, faster you can break a shot, faster you can then move on to the next shot. Cool. So a lot of what I do there is, quote unquote, greasing the groove. And it's just more really implanting that motor pattern so that every time that situation comes up in a stage, in a match, my body just will efficiently get that gun up and on target or perform that, manipulation. I would say the biggest one is probably loading the shotgun. Yeah. Loading the shotgun is one of the hardest things we do, and it requires just a lot of dexterity and kind of fine motor patterns in the fingers, because you have to grab 4 shells at the same time, shove 2 in while keeping the other 2 out, and then put the other 2 in. So it's a very fine motor pattern move,
Yeah.
that you need to be able to perform very quickly and efficiently. And anybody who knows anything about competitive shooting and quad loading, if one little thing goes wrong, all 4 of those shells explode in your hand, and we call that a fun little yard sale, because they just go everywhere and they're gone.
It's a shit show. Now, let me ask you this though: do you find any benefits from actually using fitness movements in those kind of patterns and kind of approaching strength, skill set versus using it as just building? Because I do the same thing with Kali. Like with Kali, it's like working my different angles, of attack, just really getting that pattern down, and just like, I call it like fixing your lines, where you're just always making sure that every time I strike an angle one, it's right on the bridge of the nose or from the shoulder to the hip. But as far as fitness, what benefits do you see from maybe trying to do that, and where would it be overkill?
Yeah. So in fitness, the benefits come from more, I don't say the secondary aspects, but what you're doing anytime you're repeating a motor pattern over and over and over again, especially a kind of finer specific motor pattern, is you're really, there's a lot of theories on whether you're thickening the myelin sheath that, sends the signals for that thing, but any way you look at it, what you're doing is you're ingraining that pattern and making that move much more efficient. Now, for our Kali movements, my load and my shotgun, making that movement more efficient is the goal, is the end goal. How we use it in fitness is we kind of capitalize on that. We can make this move more efficient. Anytime we can make something more efficient, what that will do, because when I go to do that movement, my body does that exact movement with very little variance.
Yeah.
Right? The more I can do that movement with less variance, the more efficient it is, the less total energy it takes, both neuromuscularly and muscularly.
Okay.
So by being able to make that move way more efficient, me doing 5 reps of a pull-up is now having less of a demand on my body than it would have before.
Yes.
So that's kind of how we use it in fitness, in the sense of by making that move so much more efficient, you lessen the total demand on the body, and then mix that with spreading it out multiple times throughout the day, we're able to get a much greater volume in without, overstressing the body, injuring the body, or just, draining yourself.
Yeah.
And becoming, kind of neuromuscularly fatigued, where that movement then becomes difficult to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I find even now when I'm doing it is I had a real difficulty, watching both my kids all day, having an hour to myself where I can just bang out a workout, where now it's just like, hey, right before I load the kids in the car, I'm going to get my kettlebell swings real quick, do 1 set of 1-arm push-ups on each side. And then wherever we get to where we're going, I'll just bang out my 1-leg squats on each side. And I like the other thing you said is like not being sore. You're not really pushing yourself to get all beat up, especially because my job's so physical, being a martial arts instructor, where I'm already wrestling all day and kickboxing and doing all this other stuff. It's difficult. And I find that as I've gotten older, and you and I were joking about this before, the problem becomes that you could do your yard work, shovel snow, whatever it is you're doing, right? Dig a ditch. And then you could go, that wasn't your workout. But now it's like your resources are, past your 30s are so much more limited that like, it's like, oh, I can't lift today because I gotta, work on my patio or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Time and, just your body's resources become a little more limited.
Sure.
And again, just increasing that efficiency to be able to get, volume increase without having, again, in college it was awesome. I go to the gym for 2 hours, right? In the morning and in the afternoons. I had plenty of time.
Yeah.
Now I don't. So now everything is about efficiency. So yeah, I can't get maybe an hour or 2 in straight. But if you can get 5 minutes here, 5 minutes here, 10 times throughout the day, well, that's 50 minutes. Total volume, total time under tension. And anytime we're talking, muscular hypertrophy, muscular changes, development, time under tension is probably the number one principle.
Yeah,
right?
And that's and for people who wouldn't understand what time under tension means, it's how much time you're actually stressing your muscles. So it isn't the number of reps you're doing, but it's like, for example, like that's why a lot of the old school, personal trainers will do that thing where you're counting to 8 when you go down and then counting 8 up, because you're spending more time in a motion of tension for your muscles to develop better. So yeah, that's what we're really looking at is time under tension. That's cool, man. Awesome, bro. So let's say if somebody was wanting to do that. Let's say somebody who's, for me, it's like, all right, I'm always doing something. So the adaptations to something like a single leg squat or pistol squat and a one arm push up is not bad. Let's take it like a step back and say, what would we do if we wanted to get somebody on a program that wanted to try something, that hasn't been training at all, and they want to see whether or not that really might get them a kickstart in their own fitness. Like, what would you recommend? How many movements would you recommend per day? And we'll go from there. So a real simple program, even if it's body weight exercises.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, with any program, it's going to be what fits best and works best with you.
Yeah.
But I would say something that's very simple and easy. If we're starting from nothing. We're starting from, hey, I haven't done anything in years and I just need to get back into it. But again, I don't have an hour to dedicate to going to the gym or doing a full workout. Kind of using the grease to groove concept, I would say the simplest thing is probably anytime you get up from sitting or go to sit down, doing 5 squats, right?
Okay.
5 squats. When I stand up and back down. And generally, if we use the chair, it actually can really help improve that squat form by focusing on sitting back, and then you kind of have that fail safe where you're not going to fall down. So yeah, I would say 5 squats and then stand up and go about whatever you were going to do. When you go to sit down, again, 5 squats and then stay in the chair and continue to do whatever it is you're doing. We can make that work in any office setting. We can make it work driving a car, watching TV on the couch.
Cool.
Just about anything. I would say that's probably the simplest, easiest way to get it started.
All right, cool.
And if you think about that, we can probably get 50 to 100 squats in a day.
Yeah.
Pretty easily.
Sure.
And start adding that up again over days and days, weeks and weeks. It's a ton of volume, ton of time under tension. We're definitely going to start seeing some results.
That's awesome. Awesome. What about push? Would you add a push up to that just so you have an upper body and a lower body?
Yeah. So again, I would say that's kind of ground one. First, easiest, let's get started doing something.
Cool.
If we're feeling good and want to add something else in, I would probably alternate days. One day it's the squats every time we go to sit down. Day 2, I would say pick a upper body exercise. Easiest one is going to be a push-up. So or some variation of a push-up.
Okay.
So we can do a wall push-up if regular push-ups are just a little taxing on us.
Yeah.
Maybe they're taxing on your shoulder, haven't done them in a while.
Cool.
Start with some wall push-ups. Or elevated push-ups. Any of those would work.
Awesome.
And then same concept, try to find a time in your day where that would work. So it could be the same thing. Every time I stand up or go from sitting to standing, it could work there. Kind of with me, I tend to be in and out of the house a lot. So I could do something like that where every time I go outside, right before I go outside, I do 5 push-ups. Every time I come back inside, I do 5 push-ups.
That's kind of how I do it. I do one-arm snatches with my kettlebell. I just have my kettlebell near the door, and anytime I'm getting ready to get my shoes on to leave, I just knock out 5 left, 5 right, and then I move on from there, man. And I'm feeling really good, man. It's pretty good. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
And what I'll do,
I've done that with swings. Kettlebell swings by the door. Every time I go out, 10 swings, come back in, 10 swings.
Yeah.
So.
It's really surprising because, I mean, I think that all of us kind of have this idea of fitness being like a fucking Rocky montage all the time. And you're just always busting your ass and like, it's got to be like it's a hard thing. But really, I mean, if you look at the only reason why fitness is even a thing is so that we have the capability of performing certain movement, or pick certain things up when we were fucking cavemen, and that's why our body adapts in the first place. And so it's like, well, then how come we don't try to mimic that in the real world? Which is like, you know what I mean? Like if you were building a house, you're going to have to you're going to have to like pick up a fucking, whatever they used to build houses out of, rocks, whatever. You know, fuck, who knows?
Rock, a tree.
Yeah.
Dirt.
Right? They would just do it once or twice, and then they're going to help their neighbor down the road do it. And so that's how that adaptation happens. And I think that it kind of mimics the natural way the body is supposed to develop them. And the thing that I noticed too is just like, you know, there's a tendency of us to get like overwhelmed and like, well, what about my traps? And what about my triceps? What about this? And then it's like the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And we just like, we go down the slippery slope of we're no longer, it's like you're trying to focus on too many fucking things. Just focus on two things and really work it.
Yeah. Focusing on too many things, or, you know, I think the other term we use for it is majoring in the minors, right?
Yeah.
You're way too focused on the things that I'm going to say don't matter, but aren't going to have a huge impact.
Yeah.
Right? And, you know, and that's kind of that. Oh, what about my traps? What about my forearms? What about my interior deltoid? That's wonderful. But if you're not doing anything, right? If we're not working out, right? We don't have low body fat. We're not in shape. We're not, you know, quote unquote muscular. What does it matter what that one muscle's doing? Now, once we get there, now maybe that stuff becomes a little more.
And we can readjust accordingly and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah, and we can readjust and try to whatever. We do some shrugs every time we go out to make my traps catch up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think overall is improve your fitness level. Get there.
Exactly.
Once we're there, then we can start making adjustments. And
I totally agree. Because it's like, you know, you get this thing, it's like a fat person, you know, is like, oh, I'm going to call the best trainer. I'm going to do this. And it's like, no, you need to hire any fucking trainer with a microphone behind you and just telling you to fucking run. You know, like that's old Tony Robbins example, but it's true. It's like, hey, how about like do something in the first place? It's kind of like anytime you read all that stuff about the 5-3-1 program, and everybody's like, well, what if I modify this program this way and this way? And he's like, how many pounds have you put on your bench press in the last 5 years?
Yeah.
How about focus on that, and then call me and we can talk about modifications and everything else, dude. You know, just simplicity really, really does help, man. You know, let's I want to go ahead and wrap up, man. I think we got a good little piece of information. We talked about some interesting stuff. If you're interested in anything that I got going on, you can look at briggsmma.com. I'll talk a little bit more about myself, but we're going to be talking about different topics, self-defense, weapons, martial arts, mixed martial arts, fitness training, and how to manage just being a dad overall. Jeremy's a dad as well. How old's your son?
One. Actually, 13 months now.
Awesome.
Yeah, almost 13 months. Just turned 1. So
yeah. So
it's been a little bit of a change. So I will say this: the Grease to Groove has helped me tremendously, because again, I went from, not that I had a ton of time, but the time I did have was my time where I could decide how to use it.
Yeah.
And now you got a little baby.
You're on different.
You don't get to pick.
Yeah.
So I definitely use this Grease to Groove concept to kind of try to get back into it. I also use it, you know, even in that non-fitness related way. You know, if you have any hobbies you're working on, it's a great way. I mean, for me, I'm lucky that I'm in a position where I can work from home. So I'll do a lot of my shooting stuff, but I'll have, you know, my pistol there, and, you know, randomly when I'm walking by, I'll grab it and just do, you know, 10, you know, dry fires, put it down, and just, you know, trying to get reps in throughout the day, because I don't have a 45-minute section where I can spend to do it.
Same here, man.
If I get 10 reps here, 10 reps here, we can use that again for any hobby you're working on.
Yeah.
We can try.
I have training knives everywhere. I just I'm sitting around. Anytime as soon as this thing goes off, I'm gonna get one set of reps in my knife slicing, and it's like, oh man, it looks like you're putting in work, and it's like you are, but it's like you're just figuring out how to juggle it in between all the other crazy shit you got going on. And kids come first, man. They're always, you're always trying to do something, get them loaded in the car, and it's crazy, man. My thing is my daughter now. Every time I get ready to leave the house to take my son to school, she poops, man. And it's like, it takes so much mental energy just to get that going. Like, all right, now I got to change his diaper and still get this kid on school on time. So yeah, man. great times. But we'll be talking about all that kinds of stuff. Anything you got you're doing now? You got any shooting competitions going up or anything, brother?
Yeah, I got one coming up. My first big one of the year coming up in a month. Be out in beautiful Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Yeah, I won one of my divisions last year, so I'm hoping to go back and win both of my divisions this year. So
awesome.
It's a big goal.
Did you just won a big competition? What competition did you just win?
The one I just won was the Surefire World Multi-Gun Championships.
World
so I went out
Multi-Gun Championships. Fucking A, bro. Good job. Good job.
2018 Surefire Championships, which that one was important to me because I consider that one to be, I mean, it's definitely one of my favorite matches of the year, but I consider that one of the best tests all around of your shooting ability. A lot of matches have different styles, and that one's really designed to be a mixture of all the styles. So some short, fast stuff, some more precision long range, some more high round count stages that are a little more physical. So it's kind of the good overall test. So winning that one was pretty cool.
That's cool, man. Congratulations. What I'd like to have you do possibly is if you can get your wife to record it or something, maybe we can even talk about some different gun topics and gun safety, how to really start even practicing dry firing at home safely. Especially when you have kids in the house, it's even more risky. You know what I mean, brother?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do some of that.
Yeah,
some transitional drills, self-defense, all that kinds of stuff like that, man. So, let's wrap it up, sir, man. Thank you very much, Chubbs. And I should call you Jeremy, not your childhood nickname. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that.
And everybody else does.
Yeah.
It's my nickname in the shooting world now.
Is it? Oh, it's great. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's on my jersey, Chubbs, right down the side.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey,
yeah.
All right, so let's get
that'll stick with me forever.
We'll do a self-defense topic one next time, possibly in 2 weeks or a week, depending on what our schedules look like, and we'll just keep cranking these out, man. Give all these hardcore dads and possibly some hardcore moms some good information and stuff that we got going on. And no, brother. All right, I'll see you later, Chubbs.
All right.